Test, test. It was working before us.
I'm logged in as me, so I should be able to change it. So.
Test, test. It's working? Oh. Test, test. Is it too loud? Oh.
All right, we're going to go ahead and reconvene this meeting of the Camarillo City Council. Let the record reflect that all 5 council members are here. Councilmember Santangelo, could you lead us in the flag salute?
Happy to. Please stand. Hand over heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. So the first item up tonight is an item that we are really pleased to be able to do. Later this month, on October 22 to be precise, the city of Camarillo celebrates its 60th anniversary. And the theme of our 60th anniversary, as we've been celebrating, is generations from origins onward. So this whole theme, which was the driving force of Chantal Limon and others on our city staff, honors our beginnings, embraces all that we have become as a city, and promotes our future progress. And as we reflect on the past with appreciation, we look toward the future with optimism. So we're still about 2 weeks away from the official anniversary date, but we've been celebrating it all year long through our community. Here at the library, with the Camarillo Ranch Foundation, together with the Pleasant Valley Recreation and Park District, the Summer Concert Series, Heritage Days, put on by the Camarillo Old Town Association, and last month at the city's end of summer block party at Constitution Park. Tonight, we're formally recognizing the occasion with a presentation, and we have 2 special guests here today, and we are honored to have them. First is our County Supervisor, Jeff Gorell, and also the Chief of Staff for County Supervisor Kelly Long, because we get to have 2 county supervisors representing portions of the city of Camarillo. And I want you to know that yesterday we were made to feel very welcome at the Board of Supervisors meeting at the County of Ventura with their presentation to us of a presentation. So Supervisor Gorell, the microphone is yours, and together with Chief of Staff Brian Miller, welcome aboard. We are delighted to have you here, and thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members of the council, Mr. City Manager, City Attorney. It's an honor to be with you here today. Chief of Staff Brian Miller for Supervisor Kelly Long and I are here to represent the entire Board of Supervisors who have all signed this proclamation recognizing this amazing milestone. And congratulations. Having the opportunity to attend the State of the City a few weeks back, it's really inspiring to see just how much the city's done recently and how amazing this city is in terms of quality of life, the way that residents enjoy living here, the fantastic workforce that city staff has. And it really is just an amazing city. And the 60th anniversary is another opportunity to just celebrate all of those great things about Camarillo. Again, this was signed by all the Board of Supervisors, and I wanted to read a couple of stanzas from this. But before I do, I just wanted to turn it over to Mr. Miller, say a few remarks on behalf of Kelly Long.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, council members. On behalf of Supervisor Long, I too would like to congratulate the city on their 60th anniversary. Supervisor Long is up at a CSAC event in Cambria and regrets not being here. She is, as you know, a resident of Camarillo, and it's interesting, as a resident of Camarillo, almost to a T, everybody has a great deal of pride who lives in their community, and that includes Supervisor Long. Her daughters attended school here. She's been a resident for decades now. Has represented the city both at the school board level and now at the Board of Supervisors, and I know she has a great deal of pride. And was thrilled to have the mayor there at the board yesterday. He spoke eloquently on the 60th anniversary. Thank you very much for being there, Mr. Mayor. And showed a great video too, highlighting some of the wonderful things that are going on in the community. And as Supervisor Gorell said, the city of Camarillo consistently pops up as one of the greatest places to live, and there's so many reasons for that, from the weather that is always at the top of the list, to the recreational opportunities, and the workforce, the tax base, everything here is just wonderful. So we'd like to offer our congratulations to the city on their 60th anniversary and wish you another successful 60 more. So I'll let Supervisor Garrell finish up, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Supervisor Long and I have both raised children here. We just love it. 17 years I hung my hat in Camarillo, and whether it's Old Town or the parks or the airport and the Waypoint Cafe, there's just so many wonderful memories because it's such a great city. So I'm going to read a couple of these. Whereas for 6 decades, Camarillo has been recognized as an ideal place to live, work, and play, with more than 300 sunny days annually and on average temperature in the low 70s. Located less than 10 miles from the coast, Camarillo offers an appealing mixture of rural and suburban lifestyles and is consistently ranked as one of the safest communities in Ventura County and in the state. Whereas some notable highlights in Camarillo's 60-year history include the first traffic light that was installed on the corner of Arneal and Las Posas roads in 1964, and in 1969, the Camarillo Healthcare District was established, and the Pleasant Valley Hospital was approved and opened its doors in 1973. The Camarillo Boys and Girls Club was founded in 1967, and in 1977, the general plan for the city was drafted by a committee of 100 residents. In 1985, the Pleasant Valley Historical Society Museum and Garden was built. The new Camarillo Public Library opened in 2007. In 2023, the North Pleasant Valley Desalter began producing a local source of high-quality drinking water. The groundbreaking of the Desar Park renovation and expansion project took place in 2024, while throughout the years, numerous service clubs and organizations have all served the community of Camarillo. Whereas this observance of this milestone provides the opportunity to acknowledge the leadership and the guidance of this City Council and the staff for providing residents with a progressive and wonderful community. Again, congratulations on the 60th anniversary. We look forward to having Tony Tremblay come back 60 years from now and speak to us again. But thank you for the opportunity to make this presentation on behalf of the entire Board of Supervisors, and we salute you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Garrell. Thank you, Mr. Miller, and our thanks also go to County Supervisor Kelly Long, and I see Nancy here as well today. Before we let you go, are there any members of the council who'd like to offer any comments on the city's 60th anniversary? I'm catching a cold, by the way. So, Vice Mayor Kildee.
Yeah, it's amazing how 60 years go by so quickly. I was a pretty young boy back in 1964 when we incorporated, and there were significant reasons for incorporation, but when they had the election, I think there was some 20 some odd candidates that ran, and when the vote came down for the incorporation, it passed by, I think, almost 2/3 of the residents. It was 75, 80, 85% in favor of yes. So you know, that speaks, I think, a lot of different levels about the passion that people have for Camarillo, and it still remains that way. And I want to thank both of you for being here today, and the Board of Supervisors for acknowledging Camarillo and being such a great partner that we've been through decades. So it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be here, and the council and the mayor and all the council members to accept the award, and from past council members too, and current and past residents here that actually make the city what it is. And we're truly blessed to have a city like this, and we never take it for granted. We keep working to try to improve. So again, thanks for being here, and if you pass that along to all your members there and the employees in the county, that a lot of them live in Camarillo, so pass it along to them as well. So good days are ahead of us too, but thanks for being here.
Thanks, Vice Mayor Kildee. Anybody else? Nope. Councilmember Martinez-Bravo.
Thank you, Mayor. Ditto. Thank you very much for providing this honor to us. It has been an honor of a lifetime for me to sit on City Council. Obviously, I wasn't here 60 years ago when the city was founded, but we know that the city is for the young and young at heart. And we live in a very diverse community, which I am proud to be a part of, and I'm glad that you are a part of it as well. I'm very thankful to all of the people who were here before me, who laid the path to lead a very responsible, fiscally responsible city, and to be able to provide the resources to our community that we are able to do so now. So I'm very grateful for all of those who were in these seats and our staff as well. And I'm just thank you so much for being here.
I have a few comments to make. First of all, I want to express, on behalf of the city and its residents, I want to express our gratitude to the County Board of Supervisors for this recognition of the city's 60th anniversary. And I want to reiterate something that the Vice Mayor said, and I think Councilmember Martinez-Bravo said, and that is, we treasure the close working relationship that we have with the County of Ventura as our partner. We know you have a lot on your plate. We have a lot on our plate as well, but what the staffs of our respective entities are able to do and the electeds together is significant. And so we really appreciate this kind of recognition, and even more so we appreciate the excellent working relationship that we have, and we want to thank you for that, because it's vitally important. I don't know that people really, most people don't really perhaps don't appreciate, or that's probably the wrong word, but maybe not understand how important it is to have an excellent working relationship. Just historically, and I said this at the Board of Supervisors meeting yesterday, and Vice Mayor Kildee said to it, talked about it for a minute, but it was 60 years ago that Camarillo's visionaries gathered at Carmen's Snack Shop on, I believe it's Ventura Boulevard and Palm, if I believe. I wasn't around at that point, but they gathered with plans to incorporate the area into the city of Camarillo. There was an election that followed, and overwhelmingly the residents voted to incorporate our city, and they elected their first city council. One of the challenges I made to the Board of Supervisors yesterday is to name all 5 of the first city council members. And I said, you can't look online while you're there. Yeah. And that's a toughie. But in any,
if you can do it.
Right. And so over the past 60 years, our community has grown, it's evolved, and we have an enduring spirit and an enduring strength, and we're committed. And as you can see from our council meetings, we are committed. We're all very different as individuals here, but we all work together very well to ensure that Camarillo remains a place where the spirit of our community thrives with financial stability and resiliency in our infrastructure. And ultimately, when you come right down to it, when you have a 60th anniversary like this, it's really a tribute to all of those, just as Councilmember Martinez-Bravo has said, everyone who's come before us, the residents, the educators, the business owners, the public servants, the leaders, the service clubs, the nonprofit organizations, the faith-based groups, to making our city an extraordinary community. And we have, as our city motto says, las personas son la ciudad. So at this time, and the people are the city, at this time I know that we have a 5-minute video from the city's end of summer block party that's going to be queued up. That took place on September 7th. And you're going to recognize some of the faces in this video, and we wouldn't be here today without the generous work of many of our local nonprofit organizations who've invested so much of themselves, so much of their heart into our city. We'd especially like to thank the Camarillo Library, the Camarillo Ranch Foundation, the Pleasant Valley Recreation and Park District, the American Association of University Women, KidStream, Visit Camarillo, and New West Symphony for joining us and participating in this event. And then we'll show the video and I'll come back and have a few closing words. So.
My name's Julie Ridenauer, and I'm a face painter with Amazing Faces, and I am super grateful to the City of Camarillo for inviting us out to this event today. I grew up in Camarillo, so being a kid and being raised here and coming to all these community events here at the park has always been a cornerstone of what our family has done together. And so today I have my son with me, I have my daughter-in-law with me, and we're just having a great time.
I absolutely love Camarillo. I love being a community member, and I do a lot for different organizations. I just love the quality of life here. I think it's a great community. People are very helpful of one another. It's a very supportive community. That's what I like about it.
My name's Chris Valenzuela. I'm the president of the Camarillo Ranch Foundation. And the Camarillo Ranch is the former home of Adolfo Camarillo, which is the town founder and its city's namesake. He was born 160 years ago. October will be his birthday, and he would be very, very happy to see what everything has taken place since he's been gone. I was born and raised in Camarillo. I met my wife at Adolfo Camarillo High School, and my parents also attended Adolfo Camarillo High School. When people come by and they say, we didn't know this was here, that's why we do what we do. That's why we have field trips. That's why we do house tours and community events to promote not just the ranch house and the land, but also the legacy of the Camarillo family.
My name is Juliana Gonzalez, and I'm the Executive Director of the Camarillo Hotel and Tourism Association. We're better known as Visit Camarillo. I love the city of Camarillo. I think it's like such a hidden gem, or it might not be so hidden anymore. It's such a great city to grow up in, a great city to live, a great city to work and to play. I hope that, the city of Camarillo continues to, grow, and we continue to receive visitors, and we, have a great thriving community for the next 60 years.
Hi, I'm Gloria Mealy with AUW Camarillo. Also turned 60 this year. My mother actually was a member when I was a little girl. So I remember going to AUW meetings back in the 70s and 80s. I moved away and then came back. And when I came back, my daughter was in elementary school and they had a women history program, and I saw it was AUW. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's that organization that my mother was in when I was a kid. So that's when I got involved again. We love Camarillo. It is such an active place, and people are so involved in the community, and we are happy to be part of it.
Well, I want to express my appreciation to those folks who created that video. It's a great remembrance of the anniversary party. So when you came in tonight, you may have noticed children creating an art piece. Actually, when you watch the video, you may have noticed children creating an art piece. And when you came in tonight, you may have noticed the gratitude tree. And we'd like to thank and express our appreciation to KidStream for gifting us with the gratitude tree, and it's on display there in the foyer. There will be an opportunity to add ornaments to the tree at the upcoming birthday storytime and craft event on Thursday, October 10. That's Thursday, October 10 at 10:30 a.m. at the Camarillo Library. The activity is designed for young children. Participants will have a chance to create their own beautiful birthday ornaments to hang on the city's birthday tree, which will be displayed in the library lobby through the end of October. We've got one more special announcement tonight, actually two. The first one is that the city just released a 60th anniversary digital brochure called the 60 Historical Highlights of Camarillo and the Pleasant Valley, 1964 to 2024. The publication is available to view and download for free on the city's website, and we'd like to thank the Pleasant Valley Historical Society for partnering with us on the project. by providing the historical content for the brochure. And finally, I would be remiss if I said, please help yourself to the pan dulce, which is out in the foyer. It's a traditional Mexican sweetbread. We are very happy to have it here. I know I'm going to blow my diet. No, I'm kidding. I know it will taste wonderful. So thank you again to all of us who helped us celebrate our 60th anniversary. Thank you to Supervisor Gorell. Thank you, Mr. Miller, Ms. Lee, for Supervisor Long's participation. We really appreciate you being here. And happy birthday, Camarillo. We know that the county supervisors would love to stick around as we go through the rest of this agenda, but we know that you have other things to do as well. We have some fascinating items on, but we would understand if you have to leave.
Well, I can't name all 5. Stand in, if you remember.
Absolutely. That's right. Very good.
Right.
Thank you all. Thank you, members of Kidstream, too. All right. Okay. Council and staff comments and reports. Who wants to go first? Mr. Tennyson.
On October 2nd, I attended the Public Safety and Preparedness Committee. On October 3rd, RDP. October 4th, I represented the city at the West Ventura County Business Alliance Military Appreciation Dinner, where they honor 8 or 9 of our local military personnel each year. This year they had Coast Guard, United States Navy, of course, and Air Force members that were honored. And on October 5th, myself and Mr. Kildee and Councilmember Santangelo saw the great grand reopening or ribbon cutting of Eldred Locker Park. And I just wanted to say that at 9 o'clock on a overcast and somewhat misty Saturday morning, there were tons and tons of kids there. And as I drove to and from my house by the park about 5 or 6 times that day, that park was packed all day long. And since then, every day, the play area is full of kids. And for old people like me, Councilmember Martinez Bravo, they have a park course or workout thing for us elderly people that's easy to work out and grab bars and everything so we don't fall and hurt ourselves. That's it.
I don't know how anybody's going to top that one. Okay, who'd like? Vice Mayor Kildee,
Yeah, I'll go.
you're up.
So, as Councilmember Tennyson said, I did attend, I guess not really opening, but Eldred Park Locker, I guess with the new equipment or whatnot that were put in. And those of you that want to know, Eldred Locker was the general manager of the Park District for many years, and that's how the park got named after Eldred. Eldred was the second general manager that the Park District had. He was there for many years. As a matter of fact, my first term on the Park District, he was actually general manager there. Let's see, October 7th, I did attend the airport meeting for what we've been dealing with for many months here, and it was a really informative report. Several other council members were there as well. So, and with your concurrence, I'd like to adjourn tonight in the memory of 2 individuals, 2 Camarillans, and I'll have some comments to say at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Very well, certainly. Who'd like to go next? Councilmember Santangelo.
I'll be quick tonight. On September 26th, I attended the Policy Committee. October 3rd, Clean Power Alliance. And October 5th, the, whatever we're calling it, re-grand opening of Locker Park. Ribbon cutting, that's
Thank
right.
you.
We cut a
Thank
ribbon
you.
there.
Okay.
We did. And the park is really wonderful. It really is. They did a great job. And that's all I have.
Councilmember Martinez Bravo.
Thank you, Mayor. September 26th, I attended the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee meeting with Councilmember Kildee. September 26th, I attended the League of California Cities Latino Caucus webinar. September 27th, I attended the business visit at the Lead Engineering Corps with Camarillo Councilmember Kevin Kildee. And on September 27th, I attended the 8th annual party for the parks at the Camarillo Grove Center. It was a fundraiser benefiting inclusive park equipment, and it was through the Foundation for the Pleasant Valley Recreation and Parks. And more information can be found at pvrpfoundation.org. September 28th, I attended the Camarillo Reads One City, One Book event with author Rebecca Searle, who wrote One Italian Summer, and it was a really wonderful evening, and this place was entirely packed in full, and she was a very popular person here. It was a lot of fun. September 30th, I attended the ribbon cutting for Dr. Beverly Torres' new business in town, Be Vibrant Med Spa, which is located inside the Phoenix Salon Suites next to Trader Joe's, and it's truly always an honor and pleasure to support and welcome our new businesses in town, so that was fun too. And October 2nd, I attended the Public Safety and Emergency Preparedness Committee with Councilmember Tennyson. And one last note, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's really an opportunity to increase information about the important warning signs regarding domestic violence. And anybody who is out there who is experiencing domestic violence, please know that there is help out there to keep you and your family safe. There is a social media message from the District Attorney's Office that I will share on mine as well. They have information as to where to get help. The Family Justice Center is available. Their phone number is 805-652-7655. And you can also text at 805-947-7981. And then you can also call 211, which is available after hours, 24 hours. And their website is 211ventura.org. There's other community organizations such as the Coalition for Family Harmony. We know that this is an issue that doesn't have boundaries or walls, and it impacts every community, unfortunately. So that is something that is a priority for me to at least provide this information to our community so that they are aware on how to stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. All right, as far as meetings attended, September 26th, the Policy Committee with Councilmember Santangelo. I also attended the meeting of the Board of Directors for the Camarillo Healthcare District regarding the Healthy Camarillo initiative, and the district did approve that MOU, which is great news. On September 27th, the Party for the Parks for Pleasant Valley Recreation and Parks Foundation. On October 4, the VCTC, Ventura County Transportation Commission meeting. On October 5, the Shred event put on by the city and Camarillo Council on Aging. So kudos to Ms. Buckstemper and staff and CCOA for a very good event. On Monday, October 7, as Vice Mayor Kildee indicated, the County Airports Department, the Part 150 NCP community meeting. And then yesterday morning, the Ventura County Board of Supervisors meeting for the 60th anniversary together with Ms. Deanna, Ms. Limone, and Mr. Castles from the city staff were there as well, which was great. Okay, moving on, we've got, I have 2 speaker cards, but neither of them are on the consent items. Let's take the consent items C through I. Do any members of the council want to pull anything from consent?
I'll move.
Hang on just a second.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Are there any public comments on items that are on the consent agenda? All right, hearing none. Councilmember Martinez-Bravo?
I'll move approval.
Thank you very much. Do we have a second? We have a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Martinez-Bravo?
Yes.
Councilmember Santangelo?
Yes.
Councilmember Tennyson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kildee?
Yes.
And Mayor Tremblay?
Yes. Record will reflect that that item was approved on a 5-0 vote. We're now going to go to the discussion items. Discussion item J is the introduction of ordinances to set reduced speed limits on various streets in Camarillo as authorized under AB 43. I do have a speaker card for this. What we typically do is we have the presentation from city staff first, followed by any questions from the council, and then thereafter I'll ask for public comment on this because I know I have at least one speaker card. So, who's going to lead off? Mr. Samonte, welcome aboard. You know, you'd think with the city's 60th anniversary, the microphones would cooperate.
Okay,
You got it, Jason, thanks.
I hope this works. Good evening, Honorable Mayor Tremblay, Honorable Council Members Tennyson, Kildee, Santangelo, and Martinez Bravo. I am Jason Samani, the city's traffic engineer, and as everyone else in this room agrees, some of the best things were created in 1964. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about the 2023 speed limit program. This one. Okay, begin by saying that in order for any form of radar to be used for speed enforcement, state law requires that an engineering and traffic survey be prepared. These engineering and traffic surveys involve collection of data. They review prevailing speeds, which would be speed limits or speeds measured during free flow traffic. In other words, not during times when traffic is congested. We also look at accident records, highway traffic and roadway conditions that are not readily apparent to the drivers. And when conducting these engineering and traffic surveys, local authorities should prioritize traffic safety of bicyclists and pedestrians with increased consideration for vulnerable pedestrian groups such as children, seniors, and persons with disabilities. Currently, we have, well, let me back up. The requirement also is that our speed zone surveys or engineering and traffic surveys be conducted every 7 years. If they're not, then the speed zone survey is invalid and the roadway can be considered a speed trap and any citations can be dismissed in court. Currently, we have our streets grouped into seven different portions. And it's important to note that not all of the streets are grouped in the same areas. They're kind of spread out through the city. And as a result, we review one portion every year, and this results in all of our speed zone surveys being up to date. Any recommendations for the reduction or the increase of speed zones is brought to City Council for consideration. So this is a little slide kind of explaining how the speed zone surveys have been set for the past decade, since 1959. State law requires that the speeds be set at the 85th percentile. And basically what we do is we go out and we measure, as an example, say we measure 100 vehicles traveling on the roadway, and whatever 85% of the drivers are driving at or below, that would be the 85th percentile. And the law previously has required that we set the speed limit at the 85th percentile. Now, one of the things that, to explain is that if the 85th percentile comes out to, say, 32 miles per hour, then we can lower the posted speed limit to 30, because we have to post it in 5-mile increments. And if it comes out to 33 miles per hour, then we have to post it at 35 miles per hour. Just a little explanation there. So in 2021, Assembly Bill 43 was passed. So if you look for it, make sure you put in the date 21-22. And this bill allows for a 5-mile reduction of the 85th percentile under special circumstances. Now, special circumstances can be considered of pedestrians and bicyclists, and also for the safety of vulnerable pedestrian groups such as children, elderly, and the disabled. Now, it's important to mention that not all roadways qualify for speed reduction under the AB 43. If this was intended to be a citywide speed reduction of 5 miles per hour, then the bill would not have established guidelines or criteria by which certain streets must fall under for us to apply this. So the 2023 speed limit program verified, our study verified that the existing posted speed limits were in fact valid. However, speed limit reductions are being recommended for certain roadway segments as permitted under Assembly Bill 43. The speed limit program will be, and moving forward, every year we will be presenting other streets to consider for further 5-mile speed reductions. And with that, staff recommends that City Council adopt the presented ordinance to establish speed limits stated in this recommended action at the roads indicated herein. And I'm available for any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Let's go to any questions from any council members for Mr. Samante. I had two, actually, Jason. First one is, I just want to confirm that if you go, can you go back to the PowerPoint slide that talks about every year, every 7 years? Yeah, it's every 7 years, but city streets are grouped into 7 different portions. But the staff report also says that we implement the program where the speed survey is conducted each year on an annual basis for one of the 7 portions. Am I understanding that correctly?
That is correct.
Okay. Question 2. Under AB 43, if an annual survey, for example, in year 1 of the 7-year period, reveals that there's an obvious issue with the speed in that particular portion, does the city have to wait 7 years for the 7-year report to come back like it is tonight, or can it take action under AB 43 in that particular year?
I believe the city has the discretion to take the streets out of order. If we conduct a speed zone survey this year and then say in 2 years, we notice that there's a number of collisions, increased number of collisions on a certain roadway segment, we can go back and resurvey that and try to apply AB 43.
So in other words, we wouldn't have to wait for a period of years, at least under new state law under AB 43, we wouldn't have to wait to go ahead and implement, for example, a reduced speed limit on a particular area that had been subject to the survey.
That is correct. Actually, the California Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices is supposed to set guidelines on how to designate safety corridors. In the future, once we sort of get our handle on how to do that, we can go back and start implementing safety corridors.
So what I'm walking away with is we have some latitude. We have much more latitude under this new state law under AB 43 than we had in the past to modify what may be a kind of an obvious existing issue. If there's one particular area where there's a high rate of speed and the survey bears that out and we need to modify that, we can do that. We can reduce the speed limit.
Yes. So the 7-year law is the maximum. So, I mean, you're only supposed to go out 7 years before you let it expire. But I know some cities that actually do conduct speed zone surveys maybe every 5 years. It could be in shorter increments if we decide.
Right. It's nice to have that flexibility.
Yes.
So, all right. I do have one public comment on this, but before I recognize that speaker, any other questions? All right. I have a public comment on this item from Jerry Barnett. Mr. Barnett, would you please come up? And you have 3 minutes for your comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My name is Jerry Barnett. I'm a resident of the Camarillo Mobile Home Park. On the post out in front, it says Camarillo Mobile Estates. It's on Ventura Boulevard. It's between the 2 streets where you're proposing to reduce the speed limit, and I'm in support of that. It'll improve the safety on the boulevard. When entering and exiting our mobile home park, it's very dangerous to try to make a left-hand turn. Some of our residents have given up making left-hand turns and made Ventura Boulevard a one-way street for them. Often it's difficult to even make a right-hand turn out of our park. The new signal that you have at Camarillo Center Drive has helped. It hadn't been there long, but I've noticed it helps. Cars from both directions are hidden from view when exiting the park until they're too close for a safe response time. And when I mention cars hidden from view from the east, I'm referring to vehicles that exit the freeway and then travel west on Ventura Boulevard. We can't see them. At 40 miles per hour, the average response time to stop a vehicle is higher than the travel time once you see those vehicles. So I appreciate the fact that at 30 miles an hour, the average response time to stop the vehicle is somewhat lower than the travel time from both directions. So this, I see here the government regulations, but it fits with what we're seeing on that street. I'd appreciate the passing of the proposed ordinance. On a closely related issue, the safety on the boulevard would also be improved. And
It's okay, you have another minute.
it would be improved by some appropriate maintenance of the landscaping. This is the third time I've mentioned it to the city. There needs to be some better maintenance to improve the safety around Granada Street and Ventura Boulevard. So thank you, and I hope you pass the ordinance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barnett. Just a quick question for you. Are you referring to maintenance, or are you referring to landscape maintenance?
Yes, maintenance of landscaping.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I clarified that, so I
Yeah.
understood your comment.
I don't know if you want details right now, but
Perhaps afterwards we can chat. All right. Thank you very much. Are there any other speakers on this item J? All right, hearing none, let's bring it back to council.
Can I make a comment?
Vice Mayor Kildee.
I just want to make a quick comment on behalf of the committee. We did look into this very thoroughly, and I can remember being on this committee where we actually had to raise speed limits because of the 85% tile. And now with AB 43, we have an opportunity to lower them. And it's never quite enough. One of the biggest calls that I get in the city is speeding pretty much throughout the city. It's a issue that all of us up here will continue to work on and try to improve that. It's definitely on our radar screen here. If it helps any, I just wanted to make a little report from the committee here that we had a very vigorous discussion on this, and we're in full support of what the recommendation action is.
All right. Any other comments? I do appreciate the committee's work. Councilmember Martinez Bravo.
You're welcome. And I also echo Councilmember Kildee's comments because this is something that was brought to us and we had the opportunity to review it. This is something that, yes, I was in support then, I support it now. In decisions that we make, especially in decisions like this, it's always so important to be mindful and incorporate science, right? To really look at the data and to also look at what we can do within the confines of the law. And very specifically to Assembly Bill 43, because I know that staff said, we can't just basically implement, a reduction 5 miles per hour throughout the whole city, but very specifically, and I think this is important to mention, that this speed limit reduction of 5 miles per hour can be implemented if special circumstances exist, such as the proximity to any land or facility that generates high concentrations of bicyclists or pedestrians, especially those from vulnerable groups such as children, seniors, persons with disabilities, and the unhoused. And I know that staff has been doing a really good job at evaluating the safety, not only through this bill, but just the safety of the city as a whole. And a lot of those conversations have been coming to the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and I really, really appreciate that. And that is a priority for me. Obviously, I do have 3 young children, and this is really a community for everyone, so I can go ahead and support this.
Thank you. Are we ready for a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
The staff recommendation, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes? All right,
Recommendations
motion
one
and
through
second,
three.
just to clarify. All right, very well. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Martinez Bravo,
Yes.
Councilmember Santangelo,
Yes.
Councilmember Tennyson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Kilby,
Yes.
and Mayor Tremblay.
Yes. Record will reflect that that item was adopted on a 5-0 vote. We're going to take a recess. It's now about 5:45. We have general public comments on our agenda for 6 p.m., and we, of course, will honor that at that time. So until then, we're going to take a short recess, and we will reconvene at 6 p.m. Thank you. All right, we'll reconvene this meeting of the City Council. This is the set time on our agenda for public comments on items that are not on the agenda, so we appreciate members of the public. We've been out for a little break, but we can't take public comments until this specific time is set forth on the agenda. I want to note, for purpose of any speakers, that the City Council cannot take actions on items that are not on the agenda, but the items may be referred to staff or scheduled on a future agenda. All right, I do have a speaker card, and I'd like to call on Donnie Aiken. And Mr. Aiken, you have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, Camarillo Mayor and council members. I am Donnie Aiken, and I am running for United Water Conservation District Board of Directors, Division 6. And tonight I'm here because I wanted to introduce myself to you guys and let you guys know why I'm running. This opportunity was presented to me, and doing my research kind of upsetted me that the unethical acts by the previous board members. So instead of being upset about it, I decided to try to be the change that we need and that the community is asking for. Furthermore research, we wonder why we can't get questions asked or why our voice isn't heard. The board is heavy on agriculture. How do we expect to get our voice heard if we don't have a voice on the board? So I'm trying to be that voice, be that change, bring ethical, transparent leadership to the board. If you would like to know any more information about me, you can look up me, excuse me. You can find more information about me at Aiken, A-I-K-E-N, the number 4, water.com. I also have a Facebook page, Aiken for Water. You can reach me at aikenforwater@gmail.com. And I have some videos on KDTV that gives you the information about my past, present, and now. And it is an honor to celebrate the birthday with Camarillo. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aiken. Are there any other members of the public who wish to offer general public comments to the City Council at this time? All right, hearing none. Madam City Attorney, do we have a closed session report for this evening?
Yes, we conducted closed session, but there was no reportable action. Thank you.
All right, very well. Thank you. With that, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting of the City Council. Oh, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Kildee, and I didn't look. We are going to adjourn this meeting in the memory of 2 individuals, I believe. Vice Mayor Kildee, can you?
Yeah, do you want to put them up on?
Give us that summary. I'm very sorry. Thank you.
That's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna, these 2 individuals are very close personal friends of mine, and I'm gonna start with Angela Ortiz, and I'm a lifetime friend of the Ortiz family. Angela's husband, John, and I are the same age, and I won't get into it too much, but we were actually switched at birth. So I was part of the Ortiz family for a number of hours, and John was part of the Kildee family for a number of hours too. And in those days, the men were not necessarily allowed into the room, so they gave my mom, Barbara Kildee, John Ortiz, and she looked at John and said, wow, that's very interesting. And she gave me to Mrs. Ortiz, and Mrs. Ortiz said, wow, it's very interesting here. So in those days, it wasn't a real big deal about that, so the nurses just came and said, Mrs. Ortiz, I think you have Mrs. Kildee's baby, and Mrs. Kildee, I think you have Mrs. Ortiz's baby, so we'll give them back to you. And so that's what happened. So John and I have this very close bonding relationship for all our lives. And his wife, Angela, was one of the kindest, gentlest, personal, energetic, always had a smile on her face. As a matter of fact, she's up in heaven in charge of smiling. I'm sure that she is here. To know Angela was to love Angela. And I really miss her, and I would see her almost every Sunday, and she would come up to me, and she had quite a sense of humor. And she'd say, well, you know, Johnny tells me that you've known Johnny for your whole life. And I said, well, yeah, I've known Johnny. I said, yeah, and he also tells me, you know, there's a story with Kevin and I, and mentioned that the switching at birth. And I said, yeah, and she said, well, how come Johnny is better looking than you are? And I said, well, you know, that's just the way he is. He says, yeah, you played baseball too. And I said, yeah, I played a little baseball, and she said, well, why was Johnny a better baseball player than you are? And I said, well, he's just superior genetic than I am, Angela. I mean, what am I going to say? And she said, she would look at me, she says, you know, I'm kidding, you know. And she said, yeah, Angela, I know you're kidding me. So that was kind of and then she'd always say, I would see her up at Padre Sarah, the church I go to, and she'd always come up to me after Mass and said, are you new here? Is this the first time you've been here? I said, no, Angela, I come here every week. And she said, well, how come I don't see you every week? And I said, Angela, I do see you every week. But that's the type of personality that Angela has, and a wonderful mother, wonderful wife, wonderful community member. She was a big part of the fabric of our community here, and I know the family terribly misses Angela, and I miss her immensely too. And you know, it's just you know, as we feel that you're in a better place, but it's a big loss for the family, and my condolences go out to the family, and she's going to be sorely missed, but she'll never be forgotten. And the second member of our community that, and this is really, really tough for me, is Marilyn Gallagher. And Marilyn Gallagher came to a very, very tragic end to her life in Camarillo a number of weeks ago. And Marilyn's family was in Camarillo the whole time. They're part of a huge lineage of Camarillans here. And she married John Gallagher, Camarillo High graduate here, very good friend of mine. John was one of my father's first customers here in our clothing store, and so was Marilyn. I've known Marilyn my whole life, and Marilyn was to Waste Management Refuge what Nan Drake is to Harrison. She was employed by Waste Management for many, many years. She had just retired. And Marilyn always had a smile on her face, and she was very, very positive, extremely bright, and just a joy to be around. And I'm really, really miss her. I can't believe Marilyn's not with her. I know she was friends with Greg. Greg knew her as well in his earlier days as city manager. And John, her husband, you know, outstanding, and her family. My condolences go out to them. And it's not the way that I believe, it's not the way you die, but it's the way that you live your life. And Marilyn lived a very, very rich life. And, you know, I don't be, you know, wordy here, but I think it bears to say nothing but positives about Marilyn Gallagher and the life she did. And I feel so, you know, emotional for her family on this, but we'll get through it, and you know, better days are going to be ahead for her family, and she's a huge part of the family fabric of our lives here in Camarillo. And she loved living in Camarillo. She loved Camarillo, and she supported us wholeheartedly. So thank you for the mayor and the council members for allowing us to adjourn in the memory of Angela Ortiz and Marilyn Gallagher.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Kildee, and we're honored to go ahead and adjourn in their memory. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.